Hey everyone, welcome to class. My name's Kathy, for those of you that we haven't met, at least not in person. And so just before we get started, this is a short class that goes pretty quick. It's Express Yoga Flow. I just want to mention the club has a lot of new classes in person now on the lovely deck or looking over the water. So I'll be down there tonight for a spin yoga combination class, and we're going to be doing a sunrise yoga Friday morning, a walking group. I'll be down there for leading both of those, and spin again and yoga on Saturday mornings. So, and lots of other classes. So hope you can check some of those out. Still continuing with some online. So that's why we're here today. And it is at the time that I'm teaching the class, it is the middle of the day, 12 bells, and it is the middle of the week, Wednesday, hump day, and it's also June 30th. So right in between the first and second half of the year. And maybe you're out right now getting some of these things tailored if you've been so fortunate to get an appointment as things open up. Makes me think of those in-between places and just to, not get too far ahead of ourselves. All of the uncertainties that we have always about the future, but at times like these can feel even more so, as well as still going over and being engaged in things that are already done and behind us. So the morning is done. What it's next to come, or maybe you're doing this in the evening, just going to start in an upright position and take a shape, equal standing or just a relaxed Tadasana pose. You don't need anything for the class other than if you have tender knees like myself, I always have a flat blanket or towel down on the mat. And you can take a moment to look down and set yourself up just so that you can feel your feet, and sometimes just connecting your eyes with the feet. I like to lift my toes and then lay them back down. And so the weight of the head, 15 or 20 pounds, is a real draw on your spine to exacerbate our usual more of a rounded standing posture. So just bring the shoulders up and around, and then let your ears move back in space and the top of the head lift a little bit, and let your arms just dangle there. Arrive to your feet, to your arches, to some appreciation and gratitude for this body, for all the different reasons that it made it here to stand and be supported, the head by the shape of the spine. At whatever time you are here, feeling the sensations of breathing, gripping, and maybe some areas of the body that right away you notice are having a hard time letting go, in the jaw or the belly. And that's okay. We're just pausing to see what's here. You can notice the breath is happening. We're going to pull that breath up through the feet and just let the arms float up. Just a straight lift of the arms. You might send your gaze up and then open up the arms and let your palms come towards the floor as the fingertips come back beside the hips. A few sun breaths. Reaching up. Maybe just stretch your eyes up. Inhale, and then exhale. Open the arms wide and flip the palms down. And let's do that one more time. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's just lift the arms up again. And let the head chin nod a little bit, so you can bring your right hand behind. And then take the left hand to the left elbow. And move that back in space a little bit to frame the head. Sorry, it's the left hand to the right elbow, wrapping the tricep muscles inward, and take the arch out of the lower back by letting the front ribs drop down in the tailbone, be nice and long. 2 breaths here. And take a little side stretch over to the left. And then come back up. And again, so not a lot of movement in the hips, just opening up under the gills, making some space. Inhale. And once more, exhale. And we'll reach the arms up. And we'll bring the left hand down this time, nestle it in. And use your right hand to draw the left elbow back in space a little bit and a little closer towards the ear. Your right elbow can just kind of wing out and be more relaxed as you open up there. Sending the ribs down for 3, 2, 1. Take that side stretch, mostly in the thoracic spine, and come back up. Up and over on the exhale. And inhale, lift it up. And once more. And reach the arms up again. And let them come more to a V shape and hug the elbows in towards the ribs. And then press out. Inhale. Squeeze the elbows in so you get that thoracic spine. Shoulder blades will move down and together. And then reach out. A wide V. One more time. Squeeze it in. And reach it out. And then bring the hands behind the back of the head. And reach the elbows wide. Breathing here. Pressing down through the feet. You might have a little bend at the knees. And let's take it again, up and over towards the left. And back to the center, inhale. And over towards the right. Again, just not moving the hips a lot. Inhale, center one more time, each side. Up and over. And then come back to center, cradle the head. And let your elbows start to come in now and nod the chin. Breathing some space into the back of the heart. And slide your hands off of your head and press the palms forward. So bend the knees a little bit more so you can scoop the belly and get into that cat shape. Let's lift up nice and tall on the breath in. And then exhale, bend the knees a little more, pressing the hands forward. Inhale. Moving the arms back in space. There may be a bend at the elbows, shoulders are tight, and then exhale, press it forward. One more time, lift it up and then fly the arms open. You could clasp the thumbs behind the back or the entire hands and squeeze the shoulder blades together and send the breastbone up. Let's drop into a bit of a seat now, so you can have a peek down to see your big toes. It doesn't have to be your deepest squat, but keep the tummy muscles engaged, drawing in and up. And then belly to thighs. Let the arms reach away from the back. Exhale, chin to the chest. Drop into the squat. Inhale. Lifting the chest. And then exhale, release. And one more time, breathing in. And fold over the legs. Let's start to drop the seat again. Lift the chest. Reaching the arms forward for Utkatasana, powerful pose, and we'll do 5 pulses. 1, 2, 3, floating, 4, and 5, and lift up. Exhale, release the arms at the sides and come back to where we started, just that open Tadasana, equal standing. You might feel a heart rate or some energy moving. Let's do a few flows through Sun Salutation A. The arms will reach up and fold over the legs. Nice and slow, come up halfway, press hands to shins or thighs. flat back. And then exhale, bend the knees. Let's just do one of these, coming all the way back up again on the inhale. Trace the line with the thumbs down the tip of the nose back to the heart. Release the arms, and now we'll move on. Inhale. Full Surya Namaskar A, fold over the legs. Exhale. Halfway lengthen. And then bend the knees. We'll place the palms, wrists under the shoulders, and step the right leg back, and then step the left leg back. So plank pose here. We'll take a couple breaths in plank pose, lifting the underside of the body and pressing back through the heels. One more breath there. And tap the knees down, narrow the elbows, and lower the ground. Stretch the legs back and just rest your forehead. Loop the shoulders. Fingertips in line with the shoulders. Roll a marble forward and come up. And we'll take 2 breaths in this very low cobra pose. Reaching the tailbone back for 1. And the breastbone forward for 2. And slide the hands back a little bit. Press up through table. And curl the toes under, sending weight back towards the heels. You can stay here, stretch the bottoms of the feet, or press up into downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, pressing into the thumb and index finger knuckles and all the way to the fingertips. And you can bend the knees to let the tailbone lift a little bit higher. One more breath. And so let's look forward, and let's go with the right foot stepping it up, and then the left foot stepping it up. Halfway lengthen. Belly to thighs, let it go. Press feet, reach arms, and come up. Thumbs to the heart center, exhale, release. And one more time, reach it up. Exhale to fold. Halfway lengthen. Exhale, bend knees. This time the left foot steps back first, wrists under shoulders, and then the right leg for plank pose. Again, let's take a couple of breaths here. You could always use fists instead. We'll shift forward and tap the knees. Narrow the elbows to lower all the way down. And then take the legs long again, loop the shoulders. And make your way through again into that cobra shape. You might lift the elbows a little bit energetically, the backs of the arms, to get light on the fingertips. As long as that feels okay in your lower back, lifting the navel. Lower on the exhale and press up and back. And one more time into that toes curled under child's pose, or lift up into downward facing dog for 3. Giving the head a shake for 2. And rolling out the jaw for 1. Look towards the hands and step the left foot up first, and then the right foot up, and come up halfway. Exhale, release. Press into the feet, take it up, inhale. And exhale, moving on. So flowing with the breath, your pace, reaching and folding, and halfway to lengthen. Exhale, we'll step the right leg back and come into a low lunge. And just take a breath in the low lunge. Dropping the hips a little bit, but staying lifted in the core. And then tap the right knee down. Curl the toes under to lift up. Inhale to a kneeling warrior. Let's do those cactus or squeezing elbows in, more of that W shape. And reach up on the inhale. If you like, you can go a little deeper. You can let the hips sink a little forward on the W shape, and then reach up into that V. And once more, and reach it up. Let's bring the left hand to the left hip crease and reach up through the right arm. Take a side stretch over to the left. And then back up. We'll bring the right hand or fist down on the inside of the left foot and start to take that twist over towards the left. Left arm can reach up. Breathing here for 3. You might lean back a little for 2. And 1, bring the left hand down. Let's pick up the back knee so we're in that low lunge. Fists or palms under shoulders, and we'll step through plank again. Shifting forward and back to the tippy toes, back through the heels, shoulders moving just ahead of the wrists. And then on that forward, on the tippy toes, is the time to tap the knees and lower. And you can take any back bend. Could be the fingertips in line with the shoulders, or you could take an upward facing dog where the kneecaps will lift. Take it through table or just up and back into downward dog as your practice and your energy today would invite that. And we'll take 3 breaths. Child's pose is a nice option, just coming down to the knees. 2. And 3. From downward facing dog, the right foot will step up again. Take a breath in that low lunge, and then the left foot comes up to meet the right. Halfway lengthen and fold here. Head a right piece of fruit. Press feet, inhale, come up. And let's travel right into the next one. Second side, fold, exhale. Halfway lengthen. Left leg is stepping back this time. Take the time to find the distance between your feet. If you use blocks in your practice, you can have those underneath your hands, or books can be nice, but just making do here. We'll tap the left knee down and come up into a kneeling warrior. So it's more or less right angles with the legs. Letting the pelvis just feel almost like it's just very slightly tucked under, or the weight of the tailbone. And then again, squeeze elbows. You might go a little deeper into the lunge and then reach up on that beat. Exhale, squeeze right in towards the ribs and reach it up. Exhale, reach it up. Right thumb into the right hip crease. We're back to right angles with the legs, and we'll take a side stretch over. This time the entire left side of the rib cage. Come back up, inhale. Bring the left hand or fist down inside the right foot. You can take it a little bit wider. Start to wrap the left ribs under as you revolve the torso towards the side, and might lean back a little with the right arm for 3, 2, 1. Right hand comes down and pick up the back knee, low lunge, inhale. Exhale, some core here to step to plank, and then shift through to tap the knees and lower down. Finding your back bend. Another nice one is more of a Shalabhasana, where the arms just reach back and the thumbs squeeze towards each other above your seat. Palms face the ceiling. Exhale, hands low, ribs press back through table to child's pose or downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Just enjoying your experience of being a little bit friendly with sensations and thoughts, and just taking it in for what it is right now. And let's meet in downward facing dog. Let's bring the big toes together. And take the right leg up and back and open up that hip. Let's point the toes and drop the heel towards the seat. Take a peek underneath the right arm, hugging the left inner thigh to center. Couple circles with that right thigh. And just let the gaze be back towards your end of your mat. And a couple circles the other way. And then reach that leg straight up again. And bring it back down. We'll go the other side. So you could also do this from your hands and knees, from tabletop. The left leg reaches back and then opens up, and we point the toes. You can bend that knee and let the heel heavy towards the right sits bone. You can stay there, or circles with the left thigh bone from either downward dog or from that table shape. Just getting into that big hip joint. All of the accumulations there. Last breath in and then bring it down. Let's shift forward to plank pose now and bring the left elbow down and the right elbow down. You can clasp hands or take opposite elbows, lift the underside of the body for 2 more breaths in this variation of a plank pose. Just giving a break for the wrists. And then tap the knees, the thighs, move the chest forward into a cobra pose. So as far forward as you like with the elbows. Any pinching in the lower back, move the elbows further forward. A nice one is to just hold the face in your hands there and let it be more passive. Let it be about the breath in whatever shape you're in for 3, 2, and 1. Let's shift to lower the forehead onto the hands and just shake out the hips here. Let the feet float off the floor. Take the knees a little wide and have a windshield wiper so one ankle crosses inside the other. And then open up your feet. Let the heavy feet hang away. So this might be more challenging for you, that internal rotation. And switch and do that a few times, just crisscrossing at the ankles. Flipping in and out, feeling how the femur bones, their habitual patterns of moving, more external rotation. Good, and then lay the legs back down. Start to wiggle yourself back up onto your forearms. Let your left forearm come on a diagonal and just bend your right knee. And this can be it. And if you need to come back down lower and you're squeezing your right heel towards your bum or towards the hamstring, stretching the front of the thigh, or you can reach back with your right arm. If it's easy for you to catch hold of the ankle, then you can press your foot or your ankle into your hand and keep that lift in the lower belly for 3, 2, and 1. Release that leg. Bring your right forearm on a bit of a diagonal and bend the left knee. Again, you could be right down on the ground. If you feel anything in the low back, keep the tailbone long. You're going to reach back if that's available and hold the shin or the foot. And then you could also be down, resting your forehead on your right fist. Try to keep lengthening through the tailbone and through the left knee. And release, exhale. Whoa, slide the hands back. And let's take it into a child's pose. If you can, have the knees right together. And let your arms rest at your sides or back towards the feet. Tuck your thumbs in and make a little fist there. If that's not good, you can have the knees wide or you can just come onto your back. Just getting some space through the whole back body for 3, 2, and 1. We'll shift up and over onto a seat. And bring you might use your blanket to lift your seat up a little bit so that you can be forward perched on your sits bones. The legs a little bit wide here. Bring your fingertips behind your back and activate the legs out through the toes, even if you have a bend in the knees here, no problem. Staying here or walking the hands forward and drawing the ground back or using the legs if that feels good to draw back a little bit. If you have extension in your arms that can easily reach the big toes. For this variation, we're letting the spine stay nice and long. So you might be here. Hamstrings are tight. And then let that go. Let's bring the soles of the feet together now. Couple of options. You can have a longer diamond shape with the legs and the support of the hands, or you can slide your heels in or bump your seat in a little closer and press the soles of the feet. If the spine can stay upright without the hands behind, then take the hands to the feet and start to open them up. Press the baby toe edge of the feet together to lengthen through the inner groins and contract the outer thighs as best you can. And squeeze the buttocks a little bit too for 3, 2, and 1. Lift that back up. Use your hands to draw the knees together. And let the legs move long again and shake them out. With the legs long but not super wide at all, but a little bit of space between them. It's going to shift onto the left hand. So the left hand just behind the left hip on a diagonal. And just wing yourself, wing your right arm over towards the left. So you're looking between your hands. And through center, right arm lifts, left arm follows, sort of a corkscrew. Just let your legs be loose, let the bones roll in the pelvis. And through, let's do one more time each side. Good, come back to center. Let's bend the knees now and drop the knees over towards the left. Press into your right shin. Lift up the right hip a little bit here. And then come through center and over the other side. Press into the left shin. Let's come over to the left again. You might move your right knee a little closer to your left knee. Lift your right hip up. Walk around a little further. So you're kind of going into that twist again. And then you might press into your shins to lift your hips and add a side stretch with your right arm. Side stretch or a back bend. It's very subtle, lengthening the tailbone always. Lower down on the exhale. Shift through and let the knees come over, second side. So the left knee is coming a little closer to the right heel for this variation. Walking the hands around one more time, looking over the right shoulder. So you can stay right there or press into the shins. The hips can lift up and then the arm into a side stretch all along that left side. Slowly lower, exhale. And reach the legs forward. Bounce out. If you have something on your mat, you might take that out of the way. Bringing the feet up towards the front of the mat. And sitting tall, bringing the shoulders back a little bit. Just leaning slightly towards the back edge of the sits bones as you come to your tippy toes. You can have peace fingers underneath your knees, and this might be a really nice version of Navasana, the boat pose, especially if you feel in your low back or if your hip flexors start to take over. This is great. You could try lifting up one shin. And then the other shin. And just see how the back responds. If that's okay, you can have both feet lifted any amount. Squeezing the belly, keeping the heart open, holding onto the legs like I am, or reaching the arms up. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring the feet back to the floor. Cross one ankle over the other and just give yourself a hug. Let your back widen. Let's do that one more time. So separate the feet, loop the shoulders, lean back just a little bit, and then choose where you want to be for 3, 2, and 1. Feet come down, cross the other ankle over, give yourself a hug. And release. We'll come onto the back now. Letting the legs float up towards the ceiling and shake, shake, shake. You might just let the legs be hovering up here if that doesn't feel like too much effort, or you can take your blanket, fold it up a couple times for a bit of height underneath your hips. Makes a big difference. Let your feet fall open and hold onto your outer or inner thighs and circle out the ankles. Spread the toes, point and flex. You can let the heels fall in heavy and keep the knees wide, and then press out through the heels. Heels fall in and reach it out. Heels fall in again. You can stay right like that with the tailbone long, or lift the heels and bring the knees towards the armpits for a happy baby pose. If you have something underneath your hips and it's bothersome, just slide that out of the way for 3, 2, and 1. Releasing the legs to the ground. Bringing the heels in a little bit closer and walking the hands down towards the feet. We'll press the low back down and we'll just lift the hips into one bridge, wiggling the shoulders underneath, pressing the backs of the hands or clasping the hands underneath the back. Can be a little bit of weight in the pelvis, but the knees are reaching forward for 3, 2, and 1. Lower the seat maybe onto the hands and give your wrists a bit of massage with the weight of your butt. Release the hips. If there's anything that you'd like to add to the practice, you can do that now. A twist if you prefer. A nice rest for the next minute would be to have the feet wide and the knees falling in. If you feel that calling to a wide lower back and some internal rotation of the hips, or just let your legs go long and floppy. Letting your eyes close and giving yourself just this full minute of total rest. Wide open, welcoming all the guests, all the thoughts, all the emotional tones. Taking it personally, just events across the landscape of the mind that are no different than sensations in the body, the weight of the body, sensations of breathing. Awareness of hearing. And so if you'd like to continue to rest, you can stay longer. If you're moving on at this point, then start to just windshield wiper the ankles. You can pick up your forearms and circle out the wrists, do a little finger strumming dance, raindrops. A stretch if you feel like it. And roll over to one side. This is a practice, and each time through, with intentionality, appreciate yourself, the courage, the effort, the energy to show up, to have some intimacy with your inner experience. Press up to take a seat, and when you're in a easy pose, or just a comfortable seat for a moment, let the hands rest in the lap or at the heart, and also give each other a nod, knowing that others are joining in their own time and sharing in a community of well-wishers. May all beings be safe, well, and happy. Happy Canada Day. Happy haircut. Namaste. Thanks for coming. Hope to see you soon.